Welcome to the Localpreneur Show, a podcast dedicated to featuring community-based entrepreneurs, the principles they live by, and the success they're having making a difference in the world. Here's your host, Austin Kane.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Localpreneur Show. Today we've got a great guest, Jay Belciano with Kelliwell. They're based out of Orange County, California, and excited to hear their story, share their story with you guys. And so again, welcome to another episode. Jay, I will turn the mic over to you here a minute and let you introduce yourself, your company, who you are, what you guys do, and just fill anybody in that's listening a little bit about you guys.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Austin. So My name is Jay Belciano, and our company is Kelliwell, and it is a company that provides wellness solutions for homes and any type of indoor living space. And basically what we do is we enhance the health of the occupants living in the space, whether it's an apartment or a home. We do a lot with senior living. We also do hospitality, which is hotels. And basically, there's a lot of different elements inside the four walls and the roof that affect your health on many different levels. So we address all those areas, from the air that you breathe. So the air that we make happen is purified 100% through a series of filter systems. The water is purified 100% from chemicals and different contaminants that are in the water. So when you're showering or drinking water or washing with it, it's all clean, pure water. The lighting systems that we provide are healthy lighting, because, lighting is really like medicine. The human race has lived outside for thousands of years before we start building these homes and creating artificial light. For thousands of years, we woke up with the sun, and of course we went to bed when the sun went down. So that's called your circadian rhythm. But now that we're inside four walls and a roof, and we have lights happening, fluorescent lights happening, all kinds of different light affecting our body, our circadian rhythm gets knocked off balance, and that's why a lot of people have trouble sleeping. Is high or low at the wrong time of day, because your circadian rhythm gets knocked off by the wrong light affecting your nervous system. So we put circadian light that mimics the tone of the sun. So in the morning, the sun has much brighter, more blue light than it does in the afternoon. There's a whole cycle that happens there, Austin, and we put the proper healthy lighting in the homes. And lastly, we'll also handle the electromagnetic frequencies that are coming into your home. The Wi-Fi, basically, all those computers, everything we have in our home are operated with electromagnetic frequencies that are flying through your room right now, and it's affecting you. It hits you at a cellular level. So we have systems that neutralize those effects. So that's the kind of environment we create. We do a lot of other things too. We call some of these systems quantum wellness, which includes deep sleep rooms that help you sleep much, much better. Sleep is so restorative, and we pay a lot of attention to that. So that's the company. That's what we do.
Perfect. Yeah. Obviously, making a huge difference. Improving people's quality of lives, through maybe some of the smaller things that people aren't necessarily thinking about, in their day to day. So, I can see the impact that you guys are making there on the people you serve, and the things that you guys are doing. And that's what our podcast, the Localpreneur Show, is all about. It's talking about how, local service businesses just like yourself are making a difference in their communities, whether it's through the services they offer or their outreach programs in their community. Whatever it is, you're giving back in some sort of way, and you're going above and beyond to change the lives of people that are around you. So I know you shared a little bit about what you guys do, but let's start at ground zero. And how'd you guys get started? What made the vision for this company. Kind of tell us a little bit about the journey and what really made you guys want to jump in and dive into this line of work.
Sure. Well, the real estate and wellness have been separated for so many years. And about 10 years ago, someone asked the question, well, what are we doing for the health and wellness of people in the homes? So that gentleman, a friend of mine, Paul Shalla, he got together with a bunch of doctors from the Mayo Clinic and some of the best architects available, and talked about what would it take to design indoor spaces that supported the health and wellness of the people inside. And that started a whole movement called the Well Movement. And he started a company called Delos, and they've done a phenomenal job. So I met Paul about 5 years ago and was really impressed with what he was doing. And I went to work with him. And I worked with that company for 3 years, building out different verticals in hospitality and residential and in different areas, and realized that it's just a space that brings so much value to people's lives that I wanted to do something that was focused just on the living spaces, because Delos' focus is primarily on commercial buildings, the places you go to work. And they do something called the WELL certification around the country, around the world. They're in over 80 countries right now, certifying space in commercial buildings, but they weren't really doing much for the people living at home and in apartments and senior living and so forth. So I decided that was an area that needed attention, and that's how this company started. I went to work for Kelliwell 2 years ago, and it's been phenomenal, changing people's lives and bringing a healthier indoor environment. Austin, what it does is it helps on so many levels, but it helps support their immunity system, gives people better energy, they sleep better, better digestion. It's just, these contaminants that we breathe and are exposed to, we have the ability to process it, just like our body can process a lot of things that aren't good for us, like alcohol or tobacco. The body has a way of flushing it out, but it takes a toll on the system and on the organs. Well, when you remove these contaminants from the indoor environment, you remove the contaminants in the air and the water, and you get the lighting correct, the body can relax and not work so hard to process all that stuff. And that's how the people have higher energy, they sleep better, they're just healthier. And this work is being, continually scientifically researched in many different ways. There's a thing called the Living Lab, where people go and actually live in these spaces, and then they basically research and check their response to lighting, to air quality, to ambient sound, to water, and see how the effects are. And it's all scientifically proven that these solutions have a major effect on people's mood, energy, sleep, and overall health.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can believe it. And so, yeah, it's, I think you guys are in a great space. And like I said earlier, you guys are, you're impacting people in maybe a way that, they wouldn't think that they need to be impacted, just because, they're in the comforts of their home. How could they be harmed by some of these things that, are a necessity to them, living their daily lives. So, no, I think, you guys are providing a service that does go above and beyond some of these other things that you might need for a home. So Jay, let's shift gears here for a second and talk a little bit maybe about what you're doing for your community, or, how you guys are giving back and the impact you're making. I know you kind of shared how you guys make that impact, but maybe talk about some of maybe an organization that you guys partner with, or multiple organizations you partner with. Who is it in the surrounding areas around you that you guys are maybe partnering up with, helping make a difference for, people in your surrounding areas?
Yeah, sure. Well, we anytime there's an opportunity for us to help out a local cause that is, able to provide clean water or clean air, we step up and do it. We're right now working with a group in Orange County that provides after-school facilities for underprivileged children and kids all the way up to 16. And we're going in there and looking at what we can do to install purified air systems and drinking fountains that are purified and lighting that is correct. So that we welcome those opportunities whenever we can. We've also done a reach out to our local fire department to see if we can provide them the same air and water filtration, because the firemen, of course, are out there and they're exposed to this horrible air quality when they're fighting a fire, and that gets into their lungs. So we figure if they're in the firehouse and they can breathe the pure air in there, it can really help their lungs and their health. So they're the kind of things we look for and reach out to do.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's perfect. You're involving yourself in, with the youth and making sure that they can grow up and have healthy lives and providing those systems and then, taking care of some of the people that are at the forefronts of, taking care of us on a different level, taking care of their communities. What made you come across these? Or I know obviously schools and firefighters are in everybody's community, but what was the reasoning behind, or what was the thought, the light bulb that came on to saying, hey, these are the two groups that we really want to associate with, we really want to partner up with. Kind of what was the thinking there? What was just kind of the general impact that you saw being made?
Well, we just figured, how can we do that? How can we, and it was just really a matter of thinking about who and how we could make a difference and provide, that incredible improvement for the indoor quality in what kind of environment could we do it? Well, some of the schools are just so big, we're really not in a position to do at cost, that kind of thing. But these smaller schools, like I'm talking about, these outreach schools, oftentimes they're just a couple of buildings with a few thousand square feet, and they're servicing, maybe a couple hundred kids in a particular area. We thought that makes sense. And as far as the firehouse, that just seemed like a no-brainer. Like that was obvious to us that those guys really could benefit by having purified water to drink in the firehouse. And, they sleep, as we all know, they rotate and so there's always guys in the firehouse. They sleep there at night. Well, they're sleeping 8 hours in an environment that's a commercial building with fire trucks that have gas and oil. And so the air quality inside a firehouse is not ideal. So it just seemed like the perfect match between the environment not being the best in a firehouse for sleeping and those guys really benefiting and needing to get as much, health and wellness they can get based on their job. So it was really just sort of a no-brainer on that one.
Sure. Yeah, no, I think that's great. I mean, I think that's two very important parts of everybody's society, everybody's community. So, taking a step in the right direction, taking care of children and firefighters, I think is a great place to start making impact in your community. Jay, what about, I know you've shared some of the people you're partnering up with, but maybe tell everybody a story about maybe a time that you guys went above and beyond or a past project or somebody that you partnered with to provide these systems for that you guys just knew that they were in need. They needed this done. Maybe they didn't have the financial means to pay for it or pay full price for it, but you guys just knew, hey, this is something that we need to do. We need to make sure they're taken care of. Tell if you have a story about that, share that story and, why you did that and what was the impact that you guys saw being made by doing that for this particular group or organization?
Well, we did one for an individual. We had an installation we did at a building for an apartment building, and one of the staff workers in the building saw what we were doing and was just so like blown away about they didn't realize you could have purified air, purified water, and healthy lighting inside their apartment. And I could see that she really was just loving what we were doing. And I said, would you like us to do your apartment? And she said, no, thank you. I'm okay. And what she really was saying was, I really just can't afford it. So I said to her, let me just come over and see your apartment. And we looked at it and we said, I'll tell you what, we have the ability to do something for you if you want at no cost. And her eyes lit up and we did it. We put 2 air units, one in the bedroom, one in the living room. We put a reverse osmosis unit under the sink for her family. She has 2 children, and now they can drink pure, 100% pure water. They never need to buy bottled water again. And we put healthy circadian lights in the kitchen and the master bedroom. So now they have healthy lighting. They have 100% pure water, pure air, and we put the EMF, electromagnetic frequency blockers, in the kitchen and the living room and the bedroom. And so now they have this super healthy environment. It's only a 2-bedroom apartment, but it's her and her 2 children live there. And now I know that they're living in a super healthy environment, and we were happy to do it. It didn't cost us that much, but it had a big impact on her life.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that those are the kind of great stories that we like to hear on this show, and we like sharing because you're going above and beyond. You're taking care of somebody that may or may not have knew they needed that product, or maybe when they did know they needed it, maybe they couldn't afford it. But again, you guys kind of stepped up in a huge way, provided that for them, and that's just something they can cross off their list. They don't have to worry about it. And like you said, they're living in an extremely healthy environment now, to keep living their lives and moving on day after day. So, I think that's great, that you guys are doing those sorts of things. Jay, last question here. We talked about your involvement in the community and the things that you guys are doing and partnering up with, and the projects you guys have done in the past. But what about your organization? What makes the organization and the people within your organization special? What makes people want to work for Kelliwell? What are some of the resources you provide them with, or is it training them up to run successful businesses themselves, or what are you doing for the people there that's not only making them a better professional but better person overall, as well?
Well, I'll tell you this. When people come to work with this company, it changes their life, because once they realize what this is and how this can affect everybody they do business with, it really just brings them to another level of appreciation. And it's not just a job, and it's not just a career. They're out there changing lives. I mean, when you go into someone's home and you educate them about the contaminants, and since COVID in 2020, everything's changed. I mean, prior to that, people didn't realize that there's bacteria and viruses in the air. Well, our systems remove that 100%. So when you go into people's homes and educate them about the contaminants that are being removed and all the damage those contaminants cause, and you put the air and the water and the lighting and the EMF blocking, it changes their life. We get letters and texting from people saying, "I've never slept this well. My energy level is high. We don't get sick anymore." So the people that are involved with this company get to experience that every day when they're out there promoting, selling, and educating.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think I think it's a great impact that you guys are making. And I can see that, somebody that has a passion, has a drive to help people and help people be in a better environment could be, being placed in a great fit with you guys, because they get to do that day after day. Maybe bringing to light, again, a situation they didn't know they needed, but now they're exposed to living such a healthier, much better life at home. So, Jay, I think you shared a lot here today, and I appreciate you sharing everything. And I know, yeah, your company and the things you guys are doing may be one that a lot of people don't know that's out there, but I think you guys are making a huge impact in the things that you guys are doing and offering back to your community. But before we jump off here today, I mean, is there anything else that you wanted to share with anyone that might be listening to this now or after the fact before we close up the show today, Jay?
No, I would just say thank you for what you guys do. I think it's phenomenal. You're bringing a lot of positivity out there in what you do. And, I'll just say that, these systems and what we do, the more you learn about it, the more you realize the value and the impact. So it's just an incredible world that opens up to anyone that comes to work with us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I completely agree. And I hope anybody that's listening and is now brought to light and can look into that themselves and explore that as a possibility for the home that they live in. So yeah, like you said, Jay, thanks for jumping on here. Thanks for sharing your story. Appreciate you guys being a guest on the Localpreneur Show, and look forward to sharing the next episode with you guys very soon.